Loneliness is not a modern problem. Human beings have carried it since the beginning of history. From ancient cities to today's crowded world, people still suffer from the same silent pain. You may have felt it before, and very probably you searched for a solution. You found something, you tried it, you overcame it, and then it came back. There is a gap in every solution you have ever been given. You already know what most people will say. Go outside, do some activities, exercise, stay busy. And I will tell you something directly. All of those are temporary. Every single one of them works by doing the same thing, distracting your mind. The moment the distraction ends, the loneliness returns, because you never solved it. You only escaped it for a while. The permanent solution is not outside. It is not an activity. It is not a place. It is not another person. The permanent solution is inside you. And that is exactly where we are going today. But first, let us understand what we are actually dealing with. Loneliness is not simply being alone. Being alone can be peaceful. Loneliness begins when you feel disconnected, even while surrounded by others. It is the gap between the connection you have and the connection you deeply want. Nearly everyone experiences it at some point in life, and today it has become a global crisis. Research suggests that around 1 in 4 adults worldwide feel lonely. Surprisingly, the highest rates are often not among the elderly. They are among the young. Millions live in crowded cities. They speak to people every day, yet they still feel unseen, unheard, and inwardly isolated. So the real question is not, why are people alone? The real question is, why do people feel alone, even in a connected world? Let me tell you about a man. He sits in a room full of people he knows. There is conversation around him. There is laughter. There is noise. His phone has notifications. Someone just tagged him. Someone just replied. By every visible measure, he is surrounded. But inside, it is completely silent. He looks around the room and feels like he is watching everything from behind a glass wall. He can see the warmth. He can hear the voices. But none of it reaches him. He smiles when someone looks at him. He nods. He replies. He performs the motions of being present. And then he goes home, closes the door, and sits in the dark for a long time. Not because no one was there, but because even when they were there, he was not reached. That is loneliness. Not the absence of people, the absence of feeling seen by anyone, including yourself. Now here is what modern psychology has discovered about this. Your brain does not experience loneliness as sadness. It experiences it as danger. Neuroscientists have found that social disconnection activates the same regions of the brain as physical pain. This is evolutionary. For hundreds of thousands of years, being separated from the group meant death. Your brain has not forgotten that. So when you feel lonely, you are not being weak. Your ancient brain is firing an alarm, telling you that you are unsafe. But here is the critical point. That alarm was designed for a world where loneliness meant physical separation. Today, you can be surrounded by people and still feel that alarm firing. Because the brain is not looking for the presence of people, it is looking for the feeling of being truly known. And that is something no distraction can give you, which is exactly why the Stoics had the answer 2,000 years before modern psychology caught up. Seneca wrote in his letters that a person who cannot enjoy their own company has never truly met themselves. Seneca believed that loneliness was not caused by the absence of others. It was caused by the absence of a relationship with your own mind. When you have never learned to sit with yourself, to know yourself, to be present with your own thoughts, then silence becomes unbearable. And you spend your entire life running toward noise, toward people, toward distraction. Not because you want connection, but because you are afraid of what you will find if you stop. Epictetus said, "Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Other people, their presence, their attention, their love, none of that is within your control. But your mind is, and the person who has mastered their inner world cannot be made to feel incomplete by the absence of anything outside it." Marcus Aurelius wrote from the loneliest position imaginable. Emperor of Rome, surrounded by millions, responsible for an empire, and profoundly, quietly alone. He wrote in his meditations that a man can retreat into himself at any moment, that within you there is always a place of quiet, a place of strength that no external circumstance can reach. He called it the inner citadel. Not a metaphor, a daily practice, a deliberate returning to yourself. When the world outside became too loud, too painful, too empty, Marcus did not go searching for company. He went inward, and what he found there was enough. So why does the mind feel lonely in the first place? The answer is this. The mind feels lonely when it has been taught that it is incomplete without something outside itself. From childhood, you were conditioned to believe that worth comes from others, that validation comes from others, that being chosen by someone else is what makes you whole. And so the mind built its entire foundation on external approval. When the approval comes, you feel complete. When it disappears, you collapse. This is not weakness. This is conditioning, and conditioning can be changed. The Stoics called the solution Autarkeia, inner completeness, self-sufficiency, not the absence of wanting connection, but the absence of needing it to feel whole. There is a profound difference between those two things. You can deeply want the presence of someone you love and still be complete without them. You can desire friendship, community, conversation, and still not be destroyed by their absence. The person who builds autarkeia does not become cold. They do not stop loving. They do not stop reaching for others. But their foundation is no longer outside themselves, and that changes everything. So how do you actually build this? 3 shifts, real ones. The first shift, change your relationship with silence. Most people treat silence as emptiness. The moment it arrives, they reach for their phone. They turn on something, anything to fill it. But silence is not empty. Silence is where you actually exist. All the noise, the scrolling, the constant stimulation,
It does not create you. It covers you. Seneca said, "Retire into yourself as much as you can. Sit with yourself for 10 minutes with nothing, no phone, no music, no distraction. Thoughts will rise that you have been avoiding. Feelings will surface that you have been burying. Let them come. This is not suffering. This is meeting yourself. And the more you meet yourself, the less you need others to make you feel real." The second shift: stop measuring your life by who is present in it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present, not to the people who have left, not to the connections you wish you had, to this moment, to what is within your control right now." The lonely mind lives in constant comparison. It looks at others and sees fullness. It looks at itself and sees lack. But that comparison is built on a lie. You are not seeing other people's inner lives. You are seeing their surface. And behind almost every surface, there is someone who also feels unseen. The third and deepest shift: become your own source. The Stoics believed that within every human being there is a spark of inner reason, a truth that belongs only to you, a voice that does not need to be validated by anyone else to be real. When you live from that place, from your own values, your own inner truth, you stop being a person who needs to be filled by others. You become a person who is already full. And from that fullness, everything changes. You no longer reach for people out of desperation. You reach for them out of genuine desire. You no longer cling. You no longer perform. You no longer shrink yourself to be chosen. You simply are who you are, and the right people will feel that. Loneliness is not a life sentence. It is a signal that your mind has been looking for wholeness in the wrong direction. 2,000 years ago, a Roman emperor sat alone in his tent at the edge of a battlefield
and wrote to himself, not for an audience, not for validation, just to think, just to be present with his own mind. He was surrounded by an empire, and he needed none of it to feel complete. That is the Stoic answer to loneliness. Not to fill the silence, but to become someone who is at home in it. You are not meant to be completed by others. You are meant to be whole on your own, and to share that wholeness with the world. That is not loneliness. That is freedom. Before we close today, something important about what is coming next on this channel. The next few videos will be different. Full audiobooks, complete Stoic texts, unabridged. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. The Discourses of Epictetus. Timeless words, read slowly so you can truly absorb them. Not summaries, not highlights, the full texts. If that is something you want to be here for, you know what to do. If you want to master your mind, subscribe to The Solitary Thinker. This is a place built for people who think deeply and live seriously. We will see you in the next one.